Hey, welcome to our daily edition of Friend of God. We're taking this directly from our new book called Friend of God, Letting Jesus Say Who You Really Are, because we really believe that when you learn how Jesus defines you, it changes how you define you. You are not the sum of your mistakes and victories. You are who Jesus says you are. You are the one He loves. Thus, you are a friend of God. And in this incredible journey through the writings of John, we see John telling us over and over again, this is what it looks like to be loved by Jesus. And so through 40 days, we're going to take a look at what Jesus is showing to John, and thus John is showing to us. That John comes to the conclusion that I am the one that Jesus loves, and thus we can come to that same conclusion. So, every day, we're going to take one of these chapters and give you just a very quick thing to think about and pray about for that day. And so here is today's episode. Day 28. Today we get into the book of Revelation. There's probably not been a book of the Bible that's been more debated than this one. For years, I kind of avoided it because it just seemed too crazy. But then I thought, what if I get to heaven and meet John and he says, what'd you think of my book? Probably ought to read that thing. So reading Revelation, the first few chapters seem to make a lot of sense, and then it just gets weird. What is John trying to say? Is it just an allegory? Is he just trying to tell a suffering church to hang on? There is hope. Well, what I do love about Revelation is how chapter 1 makes a lot of sense to us. John's alone. John's on this prison island. He's away from his church, away from his friends, away from his people, and after all the atrocities of losing his brother, losing other friends and members of the church, other disciples that have been killed, John's got to be wondering, where is Jesus? And then Jesus shows up. Jesus shows up not like he looked like a homeless carpenter the last time he saw him, but rather in radiant white with blazing eyes, and suddenly he begins to see the resurrected King in a new way. It's this kind of emotion that causes John to begin to write these new words about Jesus and what Jesus is saying to him, about how he needs to write these letters to these 7 churches and tell them what he needs to declare to them about their own following of Jesus. So here's what I want us to think about today. What if Jesus is near, even if you don't see him? Even if you don't see the evidence of him right away? What if we chose to believe that he really was there? He's in the passenger seat of your car as you drive. He's alone with you in your room. He's with you in the board meeting. He's with you at the family dinner table. He's with you when you're having a fight with your spouse or with your kids. Jesus is there. He is near. And what if we just simply chose to utter this prayer, maybe even under our breath or quietly in our minds? Jesus, thank you for never leaving me. That's got to be what John thought in that moment. I knew it. He's still here. He never would have left. Well, I hope that was helpful for you today. Take that with you throughout the remainder of your day. We'll be back tomorrow with another daily edition. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll be back tomorrow with another daily edition of Friend of God.